transitions. CSS transitions are really pretty cool, and they add dynamic to your website. And we're gonna see how they work. Okay, cool. So here, as usual, I have a single file called website.html. I'm using Visual Studio Code and Open Live Server. So let's just do that. And all I have is basically this basic code. I only have a button here. That's my button. I have some styling for the button. So I have, the color background color merchant, and then I have a hover kind of state. So when I hover off it, it has a border. I don't know if you can see that, and then the cursor changed to that pointer. That's where we've learned all of this. So that's all I have now. So what are transitions? Transitions transition a property of a value of a property of a value of a period of time. So what do I mean by that? Here, let's choose a property that we want to change about the button. So I want to change the width of the button, for example. So right now we don't have width, or we don't have explicit width. So let's just make it 20%. So now the width is 20% of the page. That's great. So now I wanna write. Transition. Now I want to specify the property that I want to transition. As we have already said, it's the width. So I want to transition the width. That's great. Now, okay, so what do I want to transition it to? So I want it to start from 20, which is the default. And when something happens, that's when the transition starts. So I want to, like in hover state, when I hover over it, I want to change the width. So 100%. So actually, let me remove this to kind of see how it is. So now, normally it's just the width is 20%, but when I hover, it's supposed to be 100%. So let's see what happens right now without transitioning. You see, it just jumps to 100%. Boom, boom, boom. Now that doesn't look good. So now transition comes to the rescue. If I add transitions to that property and I hover over it now, the same thing happens. Because we don't have a duration of time. How long do we want this process to take? From this to the 100%, from 20% to 100%. And that is where transition duration comes from. So I want to make it 1 second. So I want to save it now. Now let's see what happens. Now you see that? It's smooth transitioning from 20% to 100%, and it took 1 second. Now I think that's still too fast, so let's just do 2 seconds. Now that is smooth, right? And then it comes back to the original state. That's great. Now there is a shorter property called just transition, where you can set these two simultaneously. So if you just say transition, then you can set the property first. So I want to say width, and then the time, the duration. I want to say 2 seconds. So I'm just going to comment out that one. If I save this, we still have the same thing. I actually want to change this to 1.5. Save it. 1.5 seconds. That looks great to me. There are other things that we can change more than one property at a time. So let's say I want to also change the background color. So I would basically say comma for the first part, and then the second thing I want to change. So I want to change the background color. So it's actually space, not a comma, just a space, and then background color and green. Thinking, no, it's not. No, that's not right. Actually, at the comma, we just say we want to change background color, and we want it to take the same time. So here we are changing the width, which takes 1.5. We also want to change the background color, which takes the exact same time. Now here I can change the background color. So just like we changed the width 100%, I want to make my background color gold. I don't know how the transition would work, but let's try. Now, isn't that something? You see? So it's not only the width is changing, but also the background is changing. I want to change it to something actually like green, like this one here. Now let's see. See how it is smoothly, like they kind of melt a little bit. The colors melt, and then the other color takes over. So you say gray. Actually, I want to say green here. Nice. So you can change, you basically can list as many properties as you want. And I can also change the time. So if I want to make this 1.5, now see what happens. No, it automatically becomes green and then it goes on. Or I can make it like 3 seconds where it doesn't become green till like later, like super late. Yeah, there are more transition properties that we can add here. So one of them is delay. So I'm actually gonna make it at the same time, so it kind of melts to each other. You can delay the transition. So normally, right now, if I save this, it just automatically starts as soon as I have it. You can delay. So you can have transition. See, you can have transition delay, and then you can delay for like I want to delay 1 second. So I half of it, nothing happens. I half of it, nothing happens. I keep half of it, and then after 1 second it starts. So you can set when certain action happens, you wait a little bit, and then it starts. So you can set the delay property. I don't want to delay right now, but you can also delay more than that. There's a timing function. So if I just say transition, there's a timing function. There are multiple. So one is called ease. Ease is the default. So right now, it basically starts and it kind of runs. So you see, it like starts, it kind of runs, and then at the end, it kind of slows down. And the timing determines how far it runs. There is another one called easing. Let's just try easing. So easing, see that? So initially, it starts off easy and then it runs. So easy, go. See? Starts off easy and then it runs. There is ease out, which kind of the opposite. So now, so it runs first and then it kind of comes too slow at the end. You can do combinations of the two called ease in and out. So it means it would be slow, really fast, and then it's slow at the end. So it's slow, fast, slow. But you can also set your own timing function using cubic. These values here. Now these are all given values. Let me try what this looks like. So there is these properties that you can set, and you can actually go a website. I think it's .org or something here. Could be bizarre. And you can choose basically how your function works. So normally this is how the ease works. We just discussed linear. You can have linear, which is it's just smooth. It doesn't run fast. So if I make this linear here, save it. Yeah, it's not running slow or fast. It's just going like in a linear way. And then you can set the time you want it to take. I want to make it like super fast. Then you can give it pretty much whatever you like here. So let me just pick that. I want it to take that one. Then you can copy here. So actually, it's like, which one do you want with the time or not? So I just want the function. If I come here, instead of linear, I come past this. If I save this, wow, see that? It runs and then it stops, and then it runs. And if you see it, it's like it climbs really high, and then slow, and then high. It's pretty good. Yeah, and then you can basically do that. So that is the main properties of transition. Most of the time, this is all you would need, basically. But then you can go online to learn more about it. There are many ways to do it, to write all of them at the same time. Yeah, so see you in the next video.